are some of my absolute favorites recently, and like ones that I would recommend. My favorite book of all time is probably Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut. That's not on this list. I think I've talked about it before, maybe. If not, I might read some of that, but these are different. These aren't like my, yeah, I mean, they're a bunch of my, they're like favorites of mine. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know, the vibe is not necessarily like top favorites, if that makes sense. But these are some ones that I really, really do enjoy, and do highly recommend. Yeah, so let's get started. I have a list of 5 books. 5 books here. 5 books. I'll read the first page of each, which is what I normally do for videos like these, where I do recs for books that I'm currently reading. I read the first page. So yeah, this is a list of book recs. These I've all read within the past year, so I remember them decently well. So, what should I start with? Okay, I'm gonna start with the top one, Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. If Susanna Clarke also wrote the Norris guy. Oh dear God, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. She also wrote Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, which I've never read before, but I hear it was really good. I tried to watch the show. I didn't really like it that much, but I really love this book. This is a really good book. I wanted to read it. I don't know, the cover got me, and as you can see, I annotated it a lot, but I annotated like a lot. This is like pretty much how much I would normally do like a book normally, kind of. Anyway, so Piranesi's house is no ordinary building. Its rooms are infinite, its corridors endless, its walls lined with thousands upon thousands of statues. Within the labyrinth of halls, an ocean is imprisoned. Waves thunder up staircases. Rooms are flooded in an instant. But Piranesi is not afraid. He understands the tides as he understands the pattern of the labyrinth itself. He lives to explore the house. There is... Oh, I think that's the air. Sorry about that. Anyway. There is one other person in the house, a man called the Other, who visits Piranesi twice a week and asks... Piranesi. That it's a little bit too loud. Sorry. He visits Piranesi twice a week and asks for help with research into a great and secret knowledge. But as Piranesi explores, evidence emerges of another person and a terrible truth begins to unravel, revealing a world beyond the one Piranesi has always known. It's really cool. It doesn't have the ending or the reveal that you would expect going into it, and it's like the magic is so I don't know, I feel like a lot of people tend to homogenize the way magic is, or not magic or necessarily, but I mean, yeah, sort of. In different books it's homogenized, and it always seems very similar and the same thing between wizards and I don't know. But this is I don't know how to describe that, but it's its own thing. It has its own really cool niche plot. Okay, let me read the first page. One of my favorite, the beauty of the house is immeasurable. Its kindness infinite is probably one of my favorite quotes in here, for a reason. Oh, hi. For a reason which you will find out if you ever read it. But yeah, it's really good. Let me read the first page. Piranesi, Susanna Clarke. And of course, this is such I feel like I'm overloading the mic or something. C.S. Lewis. And then you have people call me a philosopher or a scientist or an anthropologist. I am none of those things. I am an anamnesiologist. I study what has been forgotten. I define what has disappeared utterly. I work with absences, with silences, with curious gaps between things. I am really more of a magician than anything else, and that's from Lawrence Arnsale's interview in The Secret Garden, May 1976. So, the first page, Part 1, Piranesi. And the chapters have these titles that are like the way that he keeps time. So, this is called When the Moon Rose in the Third Northern Hall. I went to the Ninth Festival, and that's like the first line from this journal, so that's what it's called. And its entry for the first day of the 5th month in the year the albatross came to the southwestern halls. Also, I read this around the time that the Tortured Poets Department came out with like the song The Albatross, and I listened to that a lot when I was reading this book, and the vibes surprisingly fit a lot, even though there's like no connection between that song and this book. I choose to believe that there is, though. Anyway, when the moon rose in the third northern hall, I went to the ninth vestibule to witness the joining of 3 tides. This is something that happens only once every 8 years. The ninth vestibule is remarkable for the 3 great staircases it contains. Its walls are lined with marble statues, hundreds upon hundreds of them, tier upon tier, rising into the distant heights. I climbed up the western wall until I reached the statue of a woman carrying a beehive, 15 meters above the pavement. The woman is 2 or 3 times my own height, and the beehive is covered with marble bees the size of my thumb. One bee, this always gives me a slight sensation of queasiness, crawls over her left eye. I squeezed myself into the woman's niche and waited until I heard the tides roaring in the lower halls and felt the walls vibrating with the force of what was about to happen. First came the tide from the far eastern halls. This tide ascended to the easternmost staircase without violence. It had no color to speak of, and its waters were no more than ankle deep. It spread a gray mirror across the pavement, the surface of which was marbled with streaks of milky foam. And a lot of the words are capitalized, very I don't know, almost intentionally, if that makes sense. But ones that you wouldn't expect to typically be capitalized, as though it is all a proper, proper noun. Yeah, a lot of it is descriptions of these halls because he's alone a lot of the time. But it gets really interesting when you get into the meat of the story and what's going on and why he's in this house. Yeah, it's almost like a mystery, but you don't really know it's a mystery until you realize it's a mystery. If that makes sense. So, let me angle this down a little bit so I don't keep slipping up. Okay. So then, I'm gonna go with... This is the horror book that I have. This is a horror... maybe a thriller or something. Yeah, this is called Tender as the Flesh by Agustina Basterica. This is read this with very much extreme caution. This is beyond words. The author herself said that she had to step away when writing. She said she had to step away when writing certain scenes because it was so nauseating to write. But this is a really interesting book. It is about the world if essentially there was a disease that made it so that we couldn't eat any meat anymore. And so we resort to eating other humans, and you have people being essentially classified as meat people. You have people who are regular humans, and then you have people who are dehumanized as meat instead of as humans. And it just talks about the story is about a man who works in this industry as a barber, not a barber, what's the word, a butcher, sort of as a butcher of sorts, and he's gifted one of these people to eat, and he doesn't kill her. And it's kind of exploring what humanity is and what humanity can become. It's very, very dark, but it has, I think, one of the honestly I think I've ever read. It's incredibly well written. It is a really good story, but yeah, not for the faint of heart. Cleopatra and Frankenstein, Cleopatra and Frankenstein. This is like one of the most beautiful descriptions of life and just like a pair of lives that I've ever seen. And I think she does it. Coco Mellors. This is Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellors. And I feel like she does a really good job of going into the lives of different people and different characters without overwhelming you with all these different perspectives and all these different stories. And she, while also maintaining the focus of these two main characters, Cleopatra and Frankenstein, but also giving you like, you know, peeks into the lives of other people. And it's so compelling. It's so compelling to see how all these different perspectives kind of trail into this one and like this one. So, Cleopatra and Frankenstein, let me read the back for you. 24-year-old British painter Cleo has escaped from England to New York and is still finding her place in the sleepless city when, a few months before her student visa ends, she meets Frank. Frank is 20 years old and a self-made success, and his life is full of all the excesses that Cleo lacks. He offers her the chance to be happy, the freedom to paint, and the opportunity to apply for a green card. But their impulsive marriage changes their lives and the lives of those around them in ways they never could have predicted. While Cleo struggles with depression and Frank with drinking, Cleo's best friend tries to embrace his gender identity in the wake of her marriage, and Frank's financially dependent sister arranges sugar daddy dates after being cut off. Ultimately, this chance meeting between two strangers changes everything for better or worse. As hilarious as it is heartbreaking, entertaining as it is deeply moving, Cleopatra and Frankenstein is a painfully relatable debut about the spontaneous decisions and imperfect relationships that shape entire lives. Whoops. So yeah, it's really good. That's really good. I didn't annotate this one as much. I think I underlined things. Yeah. Remember, you could fall in love today. If you read it, you will know what that means. Let me read you the first chapter. Chapter 1, December. She was already inside the elevator when he entered. He nodded at her and turned to pull the iron gate shut with a clang. They were in a converted factory building in Tribeca, the kind still serviced, unusually, by freight elevators. It was just the two of them, side by side, facing forward as the mechanism growed into motion. Beyond the metal crisscross of the gate, they watched the cement walls of the building slide by. "What are you getting?" He addressed this to the air in front of him, without turning toward her. "I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do the British accent, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do the British accent. I'm sorry. I've been sent for ice," he said. "What do you need?" "Oh, nothing. I'm off home." At 10:30 on New Year's Eve? That is either the saddest or the wisest thing I've ever heard. "Let's indulge me and say the wisest," she said. He laughed generously, though she didn't feel like she'd been particularly witty. "British?" he asked. "London. Your voice sounds like how biting into a Granny Smith apple feels." Now she laughed, with less abandon. "How does that feel?" "In a word, crisp." That's what pulled me into, like, just the way he said your voice sounds like a Granny Smith apple. I liked that. So yeah, Cleopatra and Frankenstein. These are all books that I would like rate like 5 out of 5. Like 5, like perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go with this one, and I'll go with the other one last. Oh. This is Bliss Montage by Ling. I love books like these, like short stories, but each short story is just weirder than the last. Yeah, I really like this book. I really like all the short stories in here. I might do this, like read some of these in the short story series. They're surrealist, I think. I think that's the genre of short story that they are. But yeah, they're beautiful. Bliss, and it's a beautiful cover. It's just a beautiful book. Yeah. That's so interesting. I think the first short story was about a woman with 100 boyfriends or something like that. And she has like this house with all of them. And she does have a husband, but the husband only speaks in dollar signs. I thought that was really cool. And everything some of them are connected to. Let me read the back. Love and loneliness, connection and possession, friendship, motherhood, the idea of home. In Bliss Montage, Ling brings us 8 wildly different tales that take on our everyday fears and fantasies. A woman lives in a mansion with her husband and all of her ex-boyfriends. Ex-boyfriends, not boyfriends. A toxic friendship comes to its breaking point with the resurgence of a drug that makes you invisible. An ancient folk ritual might heal you of anything if you bury yourself alive. And in office hours, winner of an O. Henry Prize, a film professor discovers a portal inside a closet. These and other scenarios investigate the ways that the outlandish and the ordinary are shockingly, deceptively, heartbreakingly alike. So, this is from the first short story, which is Los Angeles, which is the one where she lives in a house with her husband and all of her ex-boyfriends. Los Angeles. The house in which we live has 3 wings. The west wing is where the husband and I live. The east wing is where the children and their attending au pairs live. And lastly, the largest but ugliest wing, extending behind the house like a gnarled, broken arm, is where my 100 ex-boyfriends live. We live in LA. Our house has the nicest view in the hills. From our Spanish-style kitchen, I can see my old apartment complex down the hill, a coral stucco converted motel. The burned-out sign says El Paraíso. Another girl lives in my studio now. In t-shirt and slip, she drinks a glass of juice, stands hunched over the sink in the kitchen that I painted seafoam green. It is 3 in the morning. It is 3 in the afternoon. She is there, I am here, and all my ex-boyfriends who dated me there are also here. Aaron, Adam, Akihiko, Alejandro, Anders, Andrew. Those are just the A's. Yeah, so I highly recommend. Great read. I might reread it because I never reread books either, but I do really like that. I'm excited to read some of those stories for like a short story series. Also, don't mind my cat scratched me. My cat scratched me. Whoops. Okay, and then the last one because I want to end on like a good note. Like this is how we lose the time war. Also, happy Pride Month. This is by Max L. What am I reading? Max Gladstone and Amal El Motar. I was reading Max. I knew it was by someone named Max, and I was reading Max up here. I don't know. Anyway, this is how you lose the time war is like, I don't know. I love novels now that are like, have such fantastical or like sci-fi plots, but are like, pretty quick reads. Let me read you the back. In the ashes of a dying world, Red finds a letter marked to burn before reading. So begins an unlikely correspondence between 2 rival agents in a war that stretches through the vast reaches of time and space. Red belongs to the agency, a post-singularity technotopia. Blue belongs to Garden, a single vast consciousness embedded in all organic matter. Their pasts are bloody and their futures mutually exclusive. They have nothing in common, save that they're the best, and they're alone. Now what began as a battlefield boast grows into a dangerous game, one both red and blue are determined to win, because winning's what you do in war, isn't it? A tour de force collaboration from 2 powerhouse writers that spans the whole of time and space. So, yeah, these 2 agents, like rival forces, leave each other these letters, and the letters are like left in these incredible ways, and they have to find them, and it's really cool. So I have my annotations depend on like which chapter I'm on and like who's speaking or whatever. So red or blue, and they're the 2 agents, red and blue. Yeah. So when Red wins, she stands alone. Blood slicks her hair. She breathes out steam in the last night of this dying world. That was fun, she thinks, but the thought sours in the framing. It was clean at least. Climb up time's threads into the past and make sure no one survives this battle to muddle the future her agency's arranged. The futures in which her agency rules, in which Red herself is possible. She's come to knot the strand of history and sear it until it melts. She holds a corpse that was once a man, her hands gloved in its guts, her fingers clutching its alloy spine. She lets go, and the exoskeleton clatters against rock. Crude technology, ancient, bronzed to depleted uranium. He never had a chance. That is the point of Red. After a mission comes a grand and final silence. Her weapons and armor fold into her like roses at dusk. Once flaps of pseudoskin settle and heal in the programmable matter of her clothing knits back together. Red looks again, something like a woman. So yeah, highly recommend. So yeah, these are all books that I would recommend reading 100 times over. Maybe this one you gotta be careful with. I would look up content warning for, I mean, even Cleopatra and Frankenstein too, and some of the stuff in Bliss Montage can get like that, but yeah, these are all pretty good really incredible books that I would highly recommend. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, for trusting me. If you know, pick any of these up for maybe some summer